Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner Studio, and with me today is Michelle Smeltzer from the DSS. But today we're going to talk about the thermal shelter. It's that time of year again. As the temperatures start to dip, the thermal shelter comes alive. So,
right.
So let's talk about when all this starts this year. Starting back in your normal times, I think last year we started early, didn't we?
Yes. Last year we were able to get a grant because of COVID. This year they don't have grants. So we're opening on December 11th. It's a week earlier than we did when we were doing our normal
back in
church.
The real world.
Back in the old days. Yeah, we're opening December 11th and we're closing April 2nd. So it's a shorter. We were open for 6 months 2 years ago, 5 months last year, and we're going back to our regular.
That's still a long time.
Schedule. Yeah, it is.
So it's December the 11th to April 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so where are we going to do it at this year?
So
this does move around, but
yes. Well, because there are still churches, that are not. They're not fully meeting. They have a lot of more elderly population, and so COVID is still out there. It's still an issue right now. So we're still going to be at the 15th Street Health and Human Services Complex, where we were last year in what was the old cafeteria.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, at least that'll be stable for one more year, and then we'll be looking at new facilities after that, because I think these will go away, right?
Yeah, they're renovating that space for another agency. So next year we'll be looking for new ways to do this.
Well, you're resourceful, and I'm sure it's something the community will come together and make a home for our homeless.
Well, we're already working on next year right now. Yeah. So we've started, kind of putting the feelers out to see what we can do next year. The problem we have is that we have more homeless now than we did in our first couple of years, and a lot of our churches are smaller, and they don't have the capacity to handle 30, 40 people a night. Yeah. We only have maybe 3 or 4 churches that can handle that many people.
Yeah, and going to multiple locations would be hard because of staffing.
Right. That is really hard to move church to church every week. But we might, we're going to look at different things. We're going to put it out there, see if anyone out in the public has any ideas.
Yeah, maybe another space will
yes.
Divine intervention will come along and help you out. So this takes a lot of people. So what about, you have some staff and you have some volunteers. So what are we looking for now?
So we've been interviewing this year for our staff, for our paid staff, because we have paid people from 6 p.m. until 7:30 a.m. in the morning. So we always have paid people. And we've had a lot of applications. We've done our interviews, and we're getting ready to put out the offers.
Right, but you're going to need volunteers as well.
Yes, and so volunteers, we've been so fortunate. This year we tried something new, and it seems to be working well. We've asked for 2 kitchen volunteers every night. So let's say Mike McCool wanted to volunteer every Monday night for 2 or 3 hours in the kitchen. So that's what we're doing. So we have every night covered except for Saturday night. And last year we had Monday through Thursday, and we didn't have the weekend covered. But this year it's just Saturday night. So we have the same people, like every Monday, every Tuesday. And then we're also looking for a volunteer that's that same type of schedule for the front end to help with the guests as they arrive and that kind of thing.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And then of course, if you just want to come in and help, whenever, there's always something to do. There's always, and this year I think there's going to be more of something to do.
Well, it's a lot of work, and I know the people that are using your facility appreciate it.
Oh yes, and they can't wait.
And so it's a Band-Aid on a problem that we need that's plaguing the whole country, actually the whole world, and it seems like it goes up and down as far as better to worse, but people are coming around, and they do get out there, and you have a lot of people that are moved by it and help.
Right. We have a huge base of people that are volunteering or donating. We have coat drives, sock drives. LFK Elementary School just did a big sock drive for Socktober.
Right.
And we have huge bags of new socks. Right. And that's just fabulous. And we also got children's socks this year. So, social services will be able to put those out.
Right.
But Yeah, it's been great. And we have a board, of course, and our board members, are working tirelessly to put all this together. I'm not the only one, that does anything.
You don't do it all by yourself?
No, I don't do it by not at all.
People think you do because they see you everywhere.
They see me, but we have a board that does a lot of work behind the scenes. So.
Well, you mentioned the word donate. So there's always an opportunity if you can't volunteer. Money talks, nobody walks, right? So, you have a place, and we'll put that link on the story below so people can click on there and make their donations. If so moved, and I'm sure they will be. So
most of the monetary donations goes to our employees, so it goes to payroll.
And they're not the highest paid employees.
No, they're really kind of not. You have to have a heart to do it, and so money really, and this is usually a second job, for people.
Well, I asked Michelle, are you finding people with the way you hear it? There's a job hiring sign on every building in Port Royal.
I was really worried about it, and we've been very fortunate. We've had quite a few applications, and so I think we found the people that we want to make offers to, and hopefully they'll all accept. And
well, you mentioned that you mentioned people that you have to have a heart to do it. And people that are doing that, they're not doing it just for the money or the job.
Right.
They're moved to help as best they can. They just can't always afford to put that many hours into it.
Yeah, and so that's what we wanted. We wanted people that really wanted to work with the homeless population and really had a heart for it. And so I think that we really were able to find those people.
Well, I was talking to Robert Hutman a couple of weeks ago. He's still working on that trailer.
Yes.
He's promised to have it ready by December the 11th. So, Robert, if you're listening, get busy here. So, and that's basically a
shower trailer.
Or a shower trailer. Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting, because people don't think about all the little things you have to do. Basically, I mean, it's almost like having a hotel. So,
right. And
I've heard rumors that someone is looking for a hotel to convert to the thermal shelter. I mean, I've just heard rumors. I mean,
well, if they are, they can. We'd love it.
Taking one of these hotels that we have and making it into a place for the homeless. And I heard rumors of that.
Did you?
So,
I haven't heard that.
Well, yeah.
So
well,
I mean, I'd love to see that happen. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah. So just I hear things.
Yes.
But it's a great work that you do. I know you're into a lot of great works in the county. I know it's your job in a sense. You're the community liaison person, and then people say, "Well, I need to know about this." I say, "Well, call Michelle." Here's her number.
Yeah,
and
I get a lot of phone calls.
She said, "Mike McCool said to."
Right.
But I said, if she doesn't know what to do, she knows a guy or a gal
I know somebody
that can help them out. And
usually I can.
Let's do a little plug on your One Stop. You've relocated that to a couple of places, so let's talk about that real quick.
Okay, well, we have a one-stop resource center that has different agencies coming in and talking to clients that walk in. Right now it's at First Baptist Church. We moved down there thinking it might be a little bit more accessible to people.
Sure.
But DSS has just hired a job developer. So she's there. I'm there. Nicole. I work with Nicole, and then we have Northwestern is usually there. Their outreach.
Because I've stopped by several times. You got a lot of resources. 15, 20 people there. That really has their thumb on what's going on in the community. It's great.
And different weeks, some of them can make it, some of them can't make it. So, but we usually always have their paperwork and explains what they do. So
it's been good for those organizations to find out really a little more in depth of what people do.
Right, and we network amongst each other, and so that's very helpful for our clients. We've moved it to the first and third Wednesday of the month, but we're not having it the third Wednesday this month.
Right.
In November. So we already had it for November. We won't have it again until the first Wednesday of December.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, it's a good work, and like I said, we have a lot of resources in our county that probably people aren't aware of.
Right.
And so it's a good thing too. So, we don't really see a large homeless population. We're not like the streets of San Francisco where they're pitching their tent on the street corner, but we do have them.
We have them, and they're hidden. We have a hidden population because they are in tents, but they're in tents in the woods, and you can't see them.
Right.
We don't have the, like you see in Southern California or whatever, cardboard boxes on the sidewalks, but they're around. They're always with us. We might not know that they're homeless.
Right.
So, and we work with them. We've really, my department, I'm getting a department now.
Oh, wow.
And so we help them if they need IDs, if they need birth certificates, we can get that for them. Brooke is our job developer, so she's helping them find employment. And so we're trying to get them lifted up and, into a place where they can support themselves.
We don't want to keep them down. We want to lift them up.
Right. Right.
And I noticed that we talked earlier in different talks about the
House of Hope.
House of Hope.
Right.
And that's being a temporary stopgap. And people are being employed and moving out.
Yeah.
And the same with our homeless population. I'm sure you've seen.
Oh,
There's some people that's always going to be homeless because they choose. It's almost a choice of life.
Some of them, very few. But some of them really can't work. They don't, if they're on SSI, they don't have enough money to really live and rent a place. And so they need help, and there's just not that.
They kind of like fall through the cracks.
There's not the help that's needed for someone with some mental illness or something like that. So, we've had people that we've helped get into recovery, go through rehab, and they're doing great. They're doing great. And veterans, and the veterans have a good system that they have going, and we can connect them with the veterans services. So it's really we're able to keep our eyes on them. We're able to help those that we can help, and get them the documentation that they need to get a job if they can get a job, or if they need to start on disability, getting them started there, getting them hooked up with Northwestern.
Yeah.
So, we don't.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
She colors her hair. That's what
I do. A lot. Often.
You can get gray hair or no hair by doing things, but it's a lot of work. And people just, people appreciate it, but we just want to, put a big thank you for you and your staff now that you have a department.
I do.
You have a staff. I mean,
I do.
Staff of volunteers and helpers and everything. But
and John, our director, is fabulous. He really is super, super supportive of everything that we do.
Well, I know you helped my brother and through the years, and as I was, poking around what kind of help we can get for people, I just was amazed at the amount of people you help in the county, the size of the overall DSS budget. I mean, it's huge, and it just doesn't realize. I mean, it's thousands of people that are your clients, so to speak, in DSS. It's thousands, and it's your neighbor that you aren't aware of. Mm-hmm. And I think that goes back to it too. We just don't really know our neighbors, so I think you need to get out and meet your neighbor and see if there's something you can help, because except for the grace of God, there goes I.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And we give out a lot of food. People come in, and we've got our own little food pantry going, and so we're trying to help where we can. When someone comes in and they need to get food stamps or SNAP, and it's going to take a couple days, and they need something to get them by. We have a little pantry that we can give them food. So
well, you do a lot of good work, and I know the thermal shelter is a work of love. They started not that long ago, really.
It's been like 4 years.
Yeah, and it's really benefited and helped a lot of people. And it really helps the people that are giving in this. The volunteers really benefit probably more than your clients.
Right.
And everybody I've talked to over the last couple of years that have helped in the churches, they all see it as a blessing that they've been able to do it.
Right.
And they're benefiting from this.
And if it wasn't for the churches, of course, we wouldn't even be able to do this. The churches are a huge support, and we have they provide dinners, they provide lunches, they provide all the food.
Right. It's much more. It's blessed to give than receive.
Yes.
So. We want to encourage people to support the thermal shelter. It starts up on December 11th. They can always use your volunteer service. You can use a few extra dollars. So
Yes.
click on the link below, go to their website and make your donation, and send a thank you card to Michelle.
And like us on Facebook.
Yes.
Thermal Shelter up Front Royal on Facebook. We have a page. Gives all the, we keep that updated, quite often.
Right.
A lot more so than our website.
We'll get together sometime next month, and we'll see how things, once it gets started.
Right.
See what else you need, because the needs do come with
Right.
the
Yep.
your clientele changes the needs that you need.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what is happening with your facility, and see where else we can make and get some improvements, and just make it a little easier for staff and the guests that use it.
Right. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks again, Michelle. Really appreciate all the work you do.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.